The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was bigger than any building on Earth. It stretched so high that clouds formed near the ceiling. Lights floated in the air like tiny suns. Thousands of aliens from hundreds of worlds sat in curved seats that rose up the walls like a giant bowl. Ambassador stood near the back of the human section. She was a small woman with short black hair and calm eyes. Her formal uniform was simple compared to the flowing robes and glowing armor worn by other species. Some aliens towered over her like walking mountains. Others floated in special tanks filled with strange liquids. A few existed only as patterns of light. Nobody paid attention to the humans. They were new to the galactic community. They had only discovered faster-than-light travel 50 years ago. In a galaxy billions of years old, humans were bobbies taking their first steps. Did not mind being ignored. She watched and listened. That was her job. The High Counselor floated to the center of the hall. His name was, and he belonged to a species called the. He was tall and thin with pale blue skin stretched over a body that seemed to be mostly joints. 6 compound eyes covered his face, each one moving independently like cameras searching for threats. "Welcome to the annual registry announcement," said. His voice came through translators embedded in everyone's ears. "Today we honor the galaxy's greatest hunters, the apex predators, the species that have proven themselves masters of survival and dominance." A hologram appeared in the center of the hall. It showed a spinning galaxy with points of light marking different worlds. "We will now reveal the top 10 apex hunter species," announced. The hall grew quiet. This was a moment of great pride for any species named. Being recognized as an apex hunter meant respect. It meant power. It meant other species would think twice before starting conflicts. The first name appeared in glowing letters that translated automatically for every viewer. Number 1, the of. A section of the hall erupted in deep, rumbling cheers. Looked up and saw them. There were massive creatures, nearly 3 meters tall. Their bodies were covered in natural armor that looked like stone plates. Their hands ended in claws that could tear through metal. They came from a volcanic world where only the strongest survived. The list continued. Number 2, the of Telos. These were sleek creatures covered in scales that shifted colors. They hunted in packs across jungle moons. Their bite carried venom that could kill in seconds. Number 3, the of the void reaches. They were terrifying in a different way. They were telepaths who hunted in perfect coordination. When one saw prey, all of them saw it. They moved as one mind across 1,000 bodies. The list went on, number 4, number 5, all the way to number 10. Earth was not mentioned. Felt her heart beat a little faster, but her face remained calm. She had expected this. She raised her hand and waited to be recognized. Many eyes turned toward the human section. He seemed surprised that the small creatures wanted to speak. "The representative from Earth may address the council," he said. Stood and walked to the speaking platform. Her footsteps echoed in the sudden silence. Many aliens leaned forward to look at her. Most had never seen a human up close. "Thank you, High Counselor," said. Her voice was steady and clear. "I noticed that Earth was not included in the Apex Hunter Registry. I would like to understand why." Blinked his 6 eyes one at a time. "Earth, we have reviewed your species, Ambassador. You are adequate survivors, but you lack the natural weapons of true apex predators. No claws worth mentioning, no venom, no armor, no telepathy. Your physical strength is unremarkable. Your speed is mediocre." Some aliens made sounds that might have been laughter. "Your species is simply not qualified," continued. "This is not an insult. Most species are not apex predators. There is no shame in this." Nodded slowly. "I understand. Then may I ask where Earth is classified? Every inhabited world must appear in some registry." Consulted a data tablet that floated beside him. He tapped through several screens. His pale blue skin grew paler. Earth is classified in. He stopped. His eyes blinked rapidly. Please continue, High Counselor, said politely. Earth is listed in the registry, said quietly. Class 7. The hall went completely silent. Several aliens made sounds of shock. Others began whispering urgently to their neighbors. A warrior stood up. Class 7. There are only 3 Class 7 in the known galaxy. Worlds so hostile that visiting them means almost certain death. That is correct, confirmed. He stared at with new eyes. Ambassador, yours has extreme gravity, a corrosive atmosphere, unstable tectonic plates, deadly radiation from your star, temperature extremes that can kill in hours, and millions of species capable of ending intelligent life. How? How does your species survive there? Smiled. It was a small smile, but something about it made nearby aliens step back. We are from there, High Counselor. We did not visit Earth. We evolved there, every generation for millions of years. The planet tried to kill us every single day, and every single day we refused to die. She paused and looked around the great hall at all the apex predators who had dismissed humanity. You listed the galaxy's top hunters. You searched through all the normal worlds with normal dangers, but you forgot to check the registry. Perhaps you should ask yourselves a question. Turned back to, what kind of predator evolves on a world that kills everything else? She let the question hang in the air. Precisely the kind you do not want to underestimate. News traveled fast on the space station. Within hours, everyone knew about the human ambassador and her words to the council. Aliens whispered in corridors. They argued in dining halls. Some laughed at the idea that soft, clawless humans could be dangerous. Others looked at the data and grew quiet. The human quarters were small and simple. Earth was new to galactic politics, so they did not receive fancy rooms. Captain did not mind. He had slept in worse places during his military years. He sat at a plain metal table, drinking coffee from a thermal cup. Coffee was one thing humans refused to give up, even in space. Was 43 years old with a lean build and watchful eyes. He led the security team assigned to protect Ambassador. His job was to keep humans safe on a station filled with aliens who could crush them with one hand. The door chime rang. Open, said. The door slid aside and he had to look up, then up some more. A warrior stood in the hallway, nearly 3 meters tall. His stone-like armor plates scraped against the door frame as he squeezed through. His eyes were deep red, like cooling lava. I am the said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. I wish to speak with humans. Set down his coffee. Speak then. Moved into the room. Other humans in the quarters tensed but stayed calm. They had training for situations like this. I heard what your ambassador said, rumbled. Class 7. I looked at the data about your planet, interesting numbers, but numbers are not proof. Waited. Your species has no natural weapons, continued. You are small, soft, slow. You have no armor, no venom, no claws that matter. How can creatures like you survive? We are stubborn, said simply. Made a sound like stones crashing together. It took a moment to realize there was laughing. Stubborn, many species are stubborn. They are stubborn. They are stubborn. They have earned their place on the apex registry through blood and victory. What have humans done? Sipped his coffee. We survived. That is not enough. Leaned closer. His breath was hot and smelled like sulfur. I propose a test, a demonstration, your best hunter against our best hunter. We will see what it truly produces. The room was silent for a long moment. Nodded slowly. What kind of test? His red eyes gleamed. Station Ring 7 contains artificial wilderness, 40 square kilometers of hunting ground, different terrains, different challenges. A target drone will be released. First hunter to catch and tag the drone wins. Simple. And if we refuse? Then all the galaxy will know that humans are cowards who hide behind words. Showed his teeth. They were black and sharp like obsidian knives. Your ambassador spoke boldly in the council. Now prove that her words have meaning. Finished his coffee and stood. He was less than half this height, but he met those red eyes without fear. "Lieutenant," he called, "you are up." Movement came from the corner of the room. A young woman rose from a chair where she had been reading a book. She was 28 years old, with a calm face and relaxed posture. She stood about 165 centimeters tall. Her build was slim but fit, like a long-distance runner. Several observers who had gathered in the hallway made dismissive sounds. "This," said, "this small female is your champion." Looked at the massive alien. Her expression did not change. "Is there a problem?" "She has no muscle, no bulk. She could not fight a child." "The test is hunting," said. "Not fighting. You set the rules yourself." Considered this. Then he laughed again, that grinding stone sound. "Very well. This will be entertaining if nothing else. The hunt begins at sunrise station time tomorrow. Our champion is the greatest tracker among the. He has never failed to catch his prey." Nodded. "I will be there." "Do you need weapons, equipment? The terrain is dangerous." Shrugged. "I will bring water and some food. Maybe a jacket if it gets cold." They stared at her. Then they looked at each other. Several made that grinding laugh sound. "Human madness," said. "Our champion will carry sensors, thermal vision enhancers, climbing gear, emergency supplies. You bring water and a jacket." "I travel light," said. "Makes it easier to keep moving." Shook his massive head. "Tomorrow, little human, tomorrow you will understand why the rule the Apex Registry." He turned and squeezed back through the door, his armor scraping the walls. When the aliens were gone, looked at, "You sure about this?" Returned to her chair and picked up her book. "They are sprinters. They hunt with bursts of speed and overwhelming power. They chase prey until they catch it or lose it." "And you?" Smiled softly. It was the same smile Ambassador had shown in the council hall. "I do not chase, I follow. There is a difference." She opened her book and began reading again, as calm as if tomorrow was just another day. Watched her for a moment, then went to make more coffee. He had seen train. He had watched her run for hours without stopping, her pace never changing, her breathing steady as a machine. The thought they understood hunting. They were about to learn something new. Tomorrow would be very interesting. Ring 7 was a marvel of alien engineering. 40 square kilometers of artificial wilderness floated in a massive rotating cylinder. There were forests with purple trees, rocky mountains that scraped the curved ceiling, swamps filled with glowing water, desert zones where the temperature could kill in hours. The station used this place to test hunters from across the galaxy. Thousands of aliens gathered in the observation center to watch. Holographic screens showed every part of the hunting ground. Cameras followed both competitors. Bets were already being placed, and the odds heavily favored the. Stood at the starting platform. He was even larger than, with darker armor and 4 massive legs that could cover ground like a charging tank. His eyes had special lenses fitted over them for thermal vision. He carried a pack filled with equipment worth more than most starships. Stood beside him. She wore simple running clothes and light shoes. A small pack on her back held water bottles and some food bars. She had tied her hair back to keep it out of her face. The contrast was almost comical. Many aliens laughed openly. "Begin," the announcer called. A drone shot into the wilderness, a small flying machine designed to evade capture. It moved fast, zigzagging through the trees before disappearing into the distance. Roared and charged after it. His 4 legs pounded the ground like thunder. Trees shook as he passed. In seconds he was out of sight, crashing through the forest at incredible speed. Started walking. The observation center went quiet. Then confused murmuring began. "Is something wrong with the human?" someone asked. "Perhaps she is injured." "No, look, she is just walking." moved at a steady pace. Not fast, not slow, just constant. Her breathing was even. Her steps were rhythmic. She did not run. She did not sprint. She walked like someone going to a market, not competing in a galactic hunt. In the section, watched with growing confusion. The first hour passed. Thermal vision found the drone hiding in a cave. He charged toward it. The drone fled, rocketing through a canyon at high speed. Followed, his powerful legs pushing him faster and faster. Walked. The second hour passed. Lost the drone in a dense forest section. He circled, searching, his sensors scanning. Finally, he picked up the trail again and resumed the chase. Walked. She had covered perhaps 10 kilometers, moving in a straight line while eating a food bar. The third hour passed. Was breathing harder now. His species was built for explosive power, not extended effort. His muscles burned fuel at tremendous rates. He needed to rest, but the drone kept moving. Walked, her heart rate had barely changed. By hour 5, had to stop. His body temperature was too high. Were cold-blooded and extended exercise caused dangerous overheating. He crouched in a stream, letting cold water cool his armor plates. Walked past him. She did not even glance at the massive alien as she continued on her path. "What is she doing?" a delegate hissed. Ambassador stood in the observation center, watching calmly. "It is called persistence hunting. Long ago, before humans had tools or weapons, we hunted this way. We could not outrun our prey. We could not overpower them, so we followed them." Followed them until what? Until they collapsed from exhaustion. Eyes never left the screen, showing steady progress. Humans can regulate body temperature through sweating. We can walk and run for distances that would kill most species. Our ancestors would follow prey for days if necessary. The animal would run and rest, but we never stopped. Eventually, the prey simply fell down and could not get up again. By hour 8 was in trouble. He had overheated twice. His equipment was draining power. The drone kept moving, always staying just ahead of him. Walked. She had found the drone's general direction by watching patterns in the disturbed vegetation. She did not need thermal sensors. She needed patience. By hour 12, collapsed. His body could not continue. Medical teams were sent to retrieve him. The mighty hunter lay in the artificial grass, breathing in great heaving gasps, defeated not by combat but by distance. Walked. The observation center had grown very quiet. No one was laughing anymore. By hour 14, found the drone. It had slowed down, its power reserves running low. It tried to flee, but its movements were sluggish. Did not speed up. She simply maintained her pace, walking toward it like death itself, unhurried and inevitable. By hour 16, she reached out and touched the drone. It fell from the sky and landed in her hands. She looked up at the nearest camera and smiled. Then she started walking back to the starting platform, as calm as when she had begun. In the observation center, thousands of aliens sat in stunned silence. The section was absolutely still, stared at the screen with an expression that might have been fear. "Impossible," someone whispered. "Not impossible," Ambassador said quietly, "just human." Arrived at the starting platform 20 hours after the hunt began. She drank some water, stretched her legs, and asked if anyone wanted to join her for dinner. The galaxy had just learned a new word. Persistence. And they would not forget it. The Galactic Council called an emergency session 3 days after the hunt. The Great Hall was even more crowded than before. Species that rarely attended council meetings had sent representatives. Everyone wanted to understand what they had witnessed. Captain stood at the speaking platform. Behind him, a massive holographic display showed images of Earth. Blue oceans, green forests, white clouds. It looked peaceful, beautiful even. "Thank you for this opportunity to speak," began. His voice was calm and clear. "I understand there is confusion about humanity, about how we survived about what we truly are. High Counselor nodded. The Council wishes to understand. Your species has no natural weapons. You have no armor, no venom, no unusual strength. Yet you come from a Class 7. The data does not make sense. The data makes perfect sense, said. You are simply reading it wrong. He touched a control and the holographic display changed. Now it showed the sun. Our star bathes Earth in deadly radiation every day, enough to cause cellular damage in most species. Humans develop skin that can repair this damage. We also developed pain responses to warn us when we have absorbed too much. We call it sunburn. The display shifted to show Earth's atmosphere. Our air is 21% oxygen. Oxygen is a corrosive gas. It causes rust. It causes fire. Most species would find breathing our air to be like breathing mild poison. We evolved to use this poison as fuel for our bodies. Numbers appeared showing Earth's gravity. Our gravity is heavy, nearly 10 meters per second squared. This crushes the bodies of visitors from lighter worlds. But for humans, it made our bones dense and our muscles strong. We do not think of it as heavy because we have never known anything else. The display changed again, showing a world map with red and blue zones. Earth's temperature ranges from -90 degrees to +57 degrees. This range would kill most galactic species. Humans survive in all of these zones. We live in frozen wastelands. We live in burning deserts. We adapt. Pause to let this information settle. The council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. But the most important thing is not the planet itself, he continued. It is what lives on the planet with us. A new image appeared, a small insect with thin wings. This is a mosquito. It is tiny. It weighs almost nothing. It has killed more humans than all of our wars combined. Hundreds of millions of deaths over thousands of years. It spreads diseases that attack us from inside our own blood. The image changed to show a large gray animal in water. This is a hippopotamus. It weighs over 1,000 kilograms. It kills humans regularly, often for no reason we can understand. It is one of the most dangerous animals on our planet, and it eats only plants. Another image, a small, transparent creature floating in blue water. This is a box jellyfish. It is almost invisible in ocean water. Its sting causes heart failure within minutes. There is no cure. If you touch it, you die. The images kept changing. Snakes, spiders, sharks, bears, lions, crocodiles. Every day on Earth something is trying to kill you, said. The plants are trying to kill you. The animals are trying to kill you. The weather is trying to kill you. The germs are trying to kill you. Even the water can kill you if you drink too much or too little. He turned off the display. So what did humans do? We did not grow armor. We did not develop venom. We did not become faster or stronger than our predators. Instead, we developed something else. He tapped his head. We developed brains that could solve problems. We learned to make tools. We learned to make weapons. We learned to make fire and use it to cook food and scare away predators. When one human discovered something useful, they taught others. Knowledge became our greatest weapon. Spread his hands. We developed sweat glands that let us cool down while running. Other animals must stop and pant. We keep going. This is how a small human can chase a large animal for hours until it falls down dead from heat exhaustion. He pointed to his eyes. We developed color vision and pattern recognition so good that we can spot a hidden predator from tiny details. A patch of fur in the grass. A shadow that moves wrong. Our ancestors who could not see these things were eaten. We are the children of those who saw and survived. Was quiet for a moment. You asked how humans survive, Anna. The answer is simple. Everything that did not kill us made us better at not being killed. Generation after generation, for millions of years, Earth tested us, and we passed every test. He looked around the great hall at all the apex predators watching him. You look at humans and see small, soft creatures with no weapons, but you are only seeing our bodies. Our true weapons are invisible, persistence, intelligence, adaptability, the absolute refusal to give up and die. His voice grew harder. We did not just survive we conquered it. We became its apex predator. We killed the things that tried to kill us. We tamed the things that were useful. We bent the entire planet to our will. Smiled, showing his teeth. And now we have come to the stars. The galaxy should be grateful that we come in peace. He let the silence hang heavy in the air. Because you really would not want us to come any other way. 6 months passed after Captain spoke to the Council. The galaxy changed in ways no one had expected. The Galactic Registry created a new classification, Apex Origin. Earth was the first and only planet to receive this title. It meant that the species from this world should be treated with the same respect given to top predators, regardless of their physical appearance. Ambassador's office became one of the busiest places on the station. Requests arrived every day from species across the galaxy. Everyone wanted to understand humans better. Everyone wanted something from the strange creatures who had survived the impossible. They sent a formal letter asking for human advisors. Their long-range exploration teams traveled for months through dangerous space. They lost many warriors to accidents, injuries, and mental exhaustion. They believed humans could teach them how to endure. The venomous pack hunters wanted to study human social bonding. They had observed something strange. Humans formed emotional connections to almost anything. Other humans, animals, plants, machines, even objects with no life at all. A human could love a broken coffee cup because it reminded them of their grandmother. This ability fascinated the who only bonded with blood relatives. The telepathic hunters sent a confused message asking how human minds worked. They had tried to read human thoughts during the council meetings. What they found disturbed them. Human minds were chaotic, filled with dozens of thoughts running at the same time, many of them contradicting each other. Yet somehow humans could focus this chaos into precise action when needed. They called it beautiful madness. Lieutenant received 16 invitations to join hunting expeditions across the galaxy. She refused most of them, but she agreed to train other species in persistence techniques. Her classes became famous. Aliens who had never walked more than a few kilometers learned to travel for hours without stopping. Most failed, but those who succeeded gained new respect for human endurance. The warrior who had first challenged the humans did something unexpected. He formally requested assignment to Earth. He wanted to see for himself. He wanted to understand how such a place could create humans. The request was approved. A ship carried to the solar system. He wore a specially designed suit to protect him from Earth's environment. He thought he was prepared. He was wrong. Lasted 3 weeks. On day 5, he caught a common cold. It was a minor virus that most humans recovered from in a week. For it nearly killed him. His immune system had no defense against microscopic invaders that humans fought off every day. He spent 4 days in a medical facility, barely surviving. On day 12, he tried to walk in Earth gravity without his support suit. He managed 200 meters before his legs gave out. The weight crushed his strength. Human children ran past him, playing games, laughing, unaware that the gravity they moved through would cripple most galactic species. On day 18, a house cat scratched his hand. The small wound became infected. Earth bacteria entered his blood and rapidly. Without emergency treatment, he would have died from a cat's scratch. Returned to the station, a changed being. Your children play in environments that would be classified as hazardous zones anywhere else, he reported to the council. His voice was shaken. Your elderly climb mountains for recreation. Your athletes run distances that would kill in a single attempt. You swim in oceans filled with predators. You keep venomous creatures as pets. He paused, his red eyes distant. I saw a human child pick up a spider with her bare hands. The spider was venomous. The child knew this. She was not afraid. She said the spider was pretty. The council listened in silence. Humans do not live on a, said finally. They play on one. They laugh at dangers that would destroy us. They have made peace with death in a way no other species can understand. Captain sat in the observer gallery. He shrugged when aliens looked at him. We get bored easily. Danger makes things interesting. Ambassador met with High Counselor that evening. They discussed the future of human-galactic relations. The conversation was productive and friendly. Before she left, straightened a small plant on her desk. It was a cactus she had brought from Earth. The plant was covered in sharp spines that could pierce skin. It needed almost no water. It survived in burning deserts where nothing else could grow. Looked at it nervously. Is that plant safe? Completely, said, smiling. It only stabs you if you touch it without respect. She picked it up with bare hands, holding it carefully between the spines, and moved it to a sunnier spot. Perhaps, said slowly, the council should merge the Apex Registry and the Registry. They seem to measure the same thing in different ways. Considered this. That might be wise. After all, what is an apex predator except a survivor that ran out of things that could kill it? The galaxy had spent billions of years cataloging the universe's most dangerous hunters. They had created lists and registries and rankings. They had celebrated species with fangs and claws and armor and venom. They had never thought to check where the truly dangerous creatures came from. Not from easy worlds where survival was guaranteed. Not from gentle places where evolution moved slowly. The real monsters came from worlds that tried to kill everything every day. They came from fire and ice and poison and radiation. They came from endless competition against millions of deadly rivals. They came from... And now one species from one had reached the stars. They came with smiles instead of weapons. They offered friendship instead of war. They built trading posts and research stations and cultural exchanges. The galaxy should be grateful for this. Because somewhere in human history, there was a path where things went differently. A path where humans looked at the stars and saw not friends to meet, but territory to conquer. The galaxy was very, very lucky that humans had chosen the peaceful path. For now, Ambassador looked out her window at the stars, that small smile still on her face. The future was bright. Humanity had finally taken its place among the galactic community. And the galaxy would never underestimate them again.